Hello everyone and welcome back to a brand new video where today we return with round 9 of the F123 Lancia career mode. Yes, we're back this weekend here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Of course, if you missed out on the last video that went live last week from Barcelona, I would highly recommend going back and checking it out. But yeah, today though, we head to the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Of course, we're still trying to make good progress early on in this series. We've still got plenty of development upgrades in the works behind the scenes, and hopefully, of course, we can bring Lancia further and further up the order. You can see there's been a bit of a development push by rival teams in recent weeks, so we're still down right at the rear of the field there. Charles Leclerc, 2 points clear at the top of the Drivers' Championship. Red Bull, though, a 20-point lead over Ferrari as we head into Canada this weekend. But I know I keep saying it, will we finally score points in this series? Between this and the F106 series at the moment, I seem allergic to points. Maybe today can be a better day. Well, heading then back here to Montreal, feels like a very, very long time since I last drove on this track inside F123. Used to, yeah, be one of my favourites on the F1 calendar, but the recent changes they've made just in the games, I don't believe there's been any alterations in real life, has unfortunately made it a little bit less enjoyable in my mind. But yeah, as mentioned though in the Spanish GP, not going to put as much of a focus anymore on free practice, so I'll still be going through obviously behind the scenes and getting all the R&D that we need. Well, I think we'll jump straight over into qualifying. Wouldn't be the Canadian Grand Prix without a threat of rain showing up at some point during the weekend, and looks like this time round it is going to be Saturday there as we head out into Q1. Sunny skies around the circuit for now, but if we make it deeper and deeper in towards this qualifying, there is the chance of a real mix-up. That being said though, Canada is often a very, very strong track for the AI over one lap pace, so we'll have to wait and see as to how we get on. Obviously, sprint weekend next time around in Austria is often a happy hunting ground, so it really does feel like we've got to get points soon. Making our way into the final chicane. Oh, Bottas in front of me. Just heading into the pit lane there. Kind of threw me off slightly, but out of the final corner up towards the line. A 12.8 there. Puts us a long way back after the opening run. Well, everyone heading back out then onto the circuit, ready for their final runs here in Q1. We know it's not a good benchmark when we are about 6 tenths behind Richard Verschoor at the moment. Don't know if Perez is ending. I think, yeah, Perez is ending a lap there, so he's going to get very caught out in the process. But we need to get my sweat on. Bit of a wobble there as we make our way out onto the back straight. Not ideal, but we know there's close to a second to find in the final sector alone. We're making our way down in towards the final couple of corners here. We're half a second up at the moment, but we need to dig deep through the final chicane. Nice and tidy on the way in, try to get as close to the wall on the exit there, and out of the final corner we are going to improve by about a second. Will it be enough to see us into Q2 though? I'm not sure it is. It's P20 in the end there, what a nightmare. And having a look then at our final Q1 results, Lando Norris ahead of Lewis Hamilton there at the top of the table. Any other major surprises? I guess Red Bull's Verstappen down in P10, but yeah, we were half a second away from making it into Q2. There was definitely a couple of mistakes on the run. I feel like there's a lot more pace in the car, but it's P20 on the grid then for the Canadian Grand Prix.
We're back once again beside the St. Lawrence River here in Montreal for the Canadian Grand Prix. The event first moved to the variant of this track back in 1978, and it was won by none other than Gilles Villeneuve, the first Canadian to ever win his home race, and in whose honour the circuit would be renamed. If you want flat-out racing, you've come to the right place this weekend, as it's full throttle for 59% of this 2.7-mile circuit, peaking at around 210 miles per hour going into the final chicane. But that speed requires discipline, and there are more than a few close walls here just waiting to punish drivers with a heavy right foot. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and Lando Norris lines up alongside. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Russell, Hamilton, Oscar Piastri, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Ocon, Stroll, Bottas, Tsunoda, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Albon, Hulkenberg, Joe, Firestarter, Richard Verschoor and Logan Sargent. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today.
Well, we often see some grid penalties here in Canada, but none of that this weekend. We are starting this race where we qualified down in P20. However, often though, this track is actually quite good for a 2-stop, so I might see if it's going to be possible today. We enjoyed early success last weekend by starting on the softer compounded tyres. Didn't quite pan out the way I wanted, but let's not forget as well that Montreal is the home of the safety car here. Looking forward to this race. We're not starting where I wanted though, but maybe, just maybe, we can spring a bit of a surprise. Here we go though, ready on the grid though for the Canadian Grand Prix. 5 red lights. It's going to be lights out, and away we go there. Pretty clean, tidy starts. No, it's not. Someone's not gone. Yuki Tsunoda going to get swarmed as we make our way down in towards the first corner. Zhou Guanyu going to be rather aggressive in his cutting over towards my line through turn 1 there, and a lot of Constantina and up through the opening couple of corners there. Looks like Ferrari have taken the lead of the race off the start there as Hulkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo side by side in through the next chicane there. Can we get around the outside of the Haas? Yes, we can. And we're up to P17 then off the start of the GP. So a rather aggressive one, but certainly a successful start here this afternoon. We have got some warnings of engine wear on the MFD today, so we're going to have to be quite careful. Make sure that we don't completely destroy the engine. The worst thing to happen would be 2 mechanical failures in the last 2 Grand Prix, as down the inside of Ricciardo will accidentally go at the hairpin, but we will claim the place and up into P16. There you go, Mark just confirming what we already know, but straight line speed then already looks to be slightly down around this venue, but let's take a look back at the start from the front. Well, right on board then with Lando Norris for the start of the Canadian Grand Prix. It's going to be 5 red lights. And it's going to be lights out and away we go there. Both he and Charles Leclerc struggling to put the power down as we make our way in towards the first corner. You can see Verstappen going to try and have a look up the inside. It looks like, yeah, a lot of cars at the front of the field opting for those hard compound tyres ready for the start of this one. But as we make our way through the next couple of corners, of course, we've seen these two battle a few times in real life. But it's the first time ever I think I've seen Lando Norris walk away with the upper hand as Charles Leclerc will lead the way at the front. I'm not sure how that's a warning early on in this race, but first warning on the day then on just lap 2. However, we're watching Bottas, Magnussen even, and Alex Albon just in front of me battling it out. These two are allowing us to stick a bit closer than I was expecting to. Already though, losing a bit of time to those cars in front. Daniel Ricciardo clearly got some speed in that AlphaTauri. Not going to give it up though. Going to try and get back down the inside at the hairpin, but yeah, now we're going to have no DRS out onto the back straight, so I think we're going to be a bit of a sitting duck from the Australian early on. Don't know how the AI have got so much speed on the harder compounded tyres, but they do. And Ricciardo will slip back through. We'll still have the DRS as well out of the final corner, as Nico Hulkenberg potentially trying to eye up a move. Down the inside, the Haas will go at turn 1. Just try and cut him off though, and we will hang on to P17. Here comes Hulkenberg again then, back down in towards turn 1, will swoop round me. Yeah, just have got no pace here. I feel like this is going to be a long old afternoon. We're going to have to box the end of this lap. These soft tyres are not working as well as I'd hoped they would. Zhou Guanyu, well, 3 wide with the AlphaTauri of Tsunoda and Zhou Guanyu there down into the hairpin. And that all got a little bit scary, but somehow we still come out on top in that little battle. But yeah, this is going to leave us then with 2 stints of about 13 laps each on the medium tyres towards the end of the afternoon, but we just have not made the progress we were hoping to early on here. Got very, very scared that Zhou Guanyu was going to try and cut me off before we went down into the final chicane, but Yeah, hopefully we can try and get a nice, clean, tidy stop here. We'll have some free track space, I guess, which is quite nice, and we'll be able to monitor the gap to the shore in front, but...
Perfect job from you and the crew there, mate. We're delighted with that.
Well, there we go. Team quite happy with the stop at least.
Just one stop left in this strategy.
Make sure we're clean and tidy on pit exit. Almost to the Yuki Tsunoda there as we lock up the front slightly. But yeah, the car just has not got any pace today. Gaps are definitely coming down to the cars in front. For sure, we've already taken a good couple of seconds out of.
Ahead is 0.3 seconds.
Well, that's definitely not right. But yeah, I think we're kind of just hoping for like a late race safety car or something like that today. Something just to really spice this race up and give us a fighting chance. You've got to be in it to win it. Let's not forget that either. I think Richard Verschoor as well might be even more trouble here. I believe he's now lost the DRS range to Logan Sargent in front of him. Okay then, starting to see a few more cars peeling into the pit lane then. Still very early by, I think it's Tsunoda and Valtteri Bottas here. And again, they're bolting on a set of the mediums. Surely they can't be planning on taking these tyres to the end of the afternoon. Will we be ahead of Tsunoda? No, he's gone soft tyres then. So Tsunoda's definitely 2 stopping. Bottas, I would assume, is also 2 stopping. But we're not in last anymore.
Okay,
Oh, red flag.
Red flag.
No one
overtaking,
stopped.
please. We'll see you in the pit lane.
Oh, someone stopped. It's a Ferrari. Might be out of the Grand Prix. What's happened? So Charles Leclerc then lost the lead to Lando Norris early on in this race. He's doing everything he can to try and catch up to him. He's got no one in front of him. No one behind either, but as he makes his way down into the hairpin, just loses the back end there. Will try and get out of the way of the other cars coming through, but that's going to promote Oscar Piastri up into the podium places, but Charles Leclerc having a nightmare early on. That has absolutely screwed over Valtteri Bottas, Tsunoda, Perez and myself.
Nice advantage here. Let's have a think about how we handle the rest of this race.
Really not sure. I don't think the mediums will have enough to get to the end comfortably, so I think we're going to have to bolt on a set of the hards and try and take him through the rest of the afternoon. But what will other drivers be on in terms of strategy? They're all on hard tyres. It's going to be 5 red lights once again then, and it's going to be lights out, and away we go. There or not if you're Valtteri Bottas. You're immediately having quite a slow getaway there, but look at this, down in towards turn 1. 2-3 wide there as Sergio Perez has gone for a big send. We're going to just try and find an avenue around the outside of as many cars as we can there as we get a warning for a collision with my teammate there. I think that was Nico Hülkenberg who tried to keep it 3 wide on the exit of the first couple of turns. But yeah, now basically everyone is on level footing again. It's kind of become a little bit of a scramble here to try and make up some spots as well. Ricciardo, he is on a set of mediums, so he might be trying to pit again before the end of this race. But a pretty chaotic restart here in Montreal. There is still a long old way to go. And immediately, here comes Hülkenberg again, trying to get back round me. Trying to use a lot of battery is Nico Hülkenberg, as we'll just go into the back of Danny Rick down the end of the back straight. But yeah, Hülkenberg is still just doesn't want to be behind me, does he? Clearly. Is he going to go for it again? Yes, he is, down the end of the final straight. Try and see if we can switch him out of the final corner. No, the Haas there. Beautiful lines by Hülkenberg. And now we're going to be under pressure by Zhou Guanyu as well. He thinks about a look down the inside. Give him a little... Whoa! Okay. Don't know how we've managed that. We've got back around the outside of Hulk at turn 1 there. So there's definitely a lot of battling going on. Perez trying to move through. And I believe one of the Mercs. A lot of Constantina and up down at the hairpin. We'll have a look down the inside of Ricciardo. Up at a P15 once more. And we've just done a Danny Rick style move on Danny Rick himself. Here comes Ricciardo again though. Down in towards the hairpin. Yeah, had a lot of good battles with... Oh no, Danny Rick today. He's just going to run into the side of me. Well, just a tiny bit of damage there on the underbody. There's a little bit of banging between myself and Daniel Ricciardo. Hopefully that's not going to cost us too much in terms of performance between now and the end of the afternoon. There's Ricciardo again, though. Might be able to have a look for a run out of the final corner. We're going to try and give ourselves the shortest run. Look how quick that Alpha Tauri is there. Get a wheel on the grass through turn 1. That's going to induce some understeer through turn 2. Losing time to the cars in front again. And here comes Daniel Ricciardo again then. Down the back straight. We'll have a look through. At least this time around we'll have some DRS. More yellows out though. It's all kicking off today. Who is that dropping to the wayside? Lando Norris out with the Grand Prix. So Lando Norris out then here in Montreal. And then it was all up to Oscar Piastri, who was still at the front of the field. Lando Norris then, after losing out on the race lead to his teammate after the restart here, you can see he's going to be following close to Max Verstappen in front of him. Maybe McLaren not cooling the engine properly under the red flag, but just out of the hairpin. He already knows it's gone, and he's just going to have to trundle over to the inside of the circuit there. Lando Norris is out of the Canadian Grand Prix. Hülkenberg again around the outside, down at the end of the back straight, and again he's going to turn in on me. There's about 4 back straights around this venue, but I'm really starting to wonder, what are all these medium runners going to try and do? Will they be able to take those tyres to the end, or if they started on the hards, did they kind of get forced into it and might box again before the end of this race? I'm not optimistic we're going to score points, but if I can hold out any hope, I will with 15 to go.
Okay, we're looking at some gearbox wear, so try to keep the number of shifts to a minimum, please. Okay, here's the gap that we're trailing the car ahead by. 2.2 seconds.
Level then, Mark does that. He tells you there's some kind of issue with the car, and then also immediately follows it up with, just drive quicker. Come on, battle the car in front now. Zhou Guanyu having a look for it down at turn 1. See there, we just get put onto the dirty line, and then we've got no grip through the first couple of corners. But yeah, cars in front now are really starting to pull away, so even if they have got a box again, they might still be able to get me before the end of this race. But 13 to go. Oh no, Hülkenberg will sail by. We might be able to try and have a look down the inside there, but no, Hulk actually outbrakes me. Doesn't happen often down at the hairpin here, but the AI getting the job done. And I believe now as well he will have timed that, so he'll keep the DRS as well in the process here. P16, we've never even had a sniff at the top 10 today up to this point. Maybe I'm just trying to manifest something. This might be the hardest I've ever raced for a P15, but we are just desperately trying to stay in the range of Hülkenberg at the moment, and Ricciardo is still pulling away in front. Are we going to see any AI pit to give me some belief of hope this afternoon? Still, no one in. Well, it is quite staggering when you take a look on the mini-map. This race is completely formed into 3 separate trains, and I believe each one as well is split across 7 cars, so yeah, we're going to need quite a miracle or a big pile-up coming from that group in front of me. But I believe Verstappen now is leading this thing. Here comes Zhou down the inside into the hairpin. We won't have any DRS either way, even if we're able to keep ahead of him, which it doesn't look like we are. Might be able to get the power down on the exit, just like do again. But yeah, we're going to have nothing here. Zhou Guanyu is about to fly straight back past me. Oh, we got yellows out though. Haas has gone. Go on, give us a safety car. Yeah, VSC. I'm gonna box. I'm gonna box. I'm gonna box. We want softs. Can we? How do I? Which button do I pick to select softs? Yes. We want softs. New softs. Late on in the day, I said how we needed a safety car.
Okay, we've been informed due to increasing risks, they're moving from a virtual to a full safety car. Full safety car.
And we have been given an absolute lifeline here late on in the day. Whether or not the AI pit is a very different question. Our engine is very worn out. But we're going to be on, yes, softer, fresher tyres to the end potentially. And let's ride on board then with Kevin Magnussen, who's been running just at the back of this little train of cars for so long now this afternoon. Just a handful of laps to go. And just a momentary lapse of concentration. And the Haas car is going to find the barrier as he makes his way out of the final chicane. That is going to completely shake things up, though, with just a handful of laps to go.
A mechanical issue means you've lost one of the gears, I'm afraid. Say again, you have lost access to one of the gears.
No! With just a few laps to go, we've now lost, I think, 4th gear. Yeah, we've lost 4th. Will we get it back before we go green flag racing again? Deary me, well, if we ever wanted this race made even more difficult, it looks like we've got it. We have lost 4th gear there, which is very, very useful around a track like Montreal. Hopefully it will come back before the end of this thing, but it looks like we're going to get a 3-lap showdown. Well, how many times this season has it looked like we've had a chance at some point during a Grand Prix? And how many times has it actually worked for us? We've got to try and make up 10 places in 3 laps here in Montreal. But we should be absolutely flying towards the end of this race there. We've got softer tyres that are 17 laps fresher than anyone else's, but we've also lost a gear. So we're going to have to really... Oh no, with 4th gear's come back. Fantastic. We have got 4th gear then, as it is green flag racing once more here in Montreal. We have got to try and carve our way through as quickly as possible. I'm hoping Richard Verschoor is going to jump out the way there, and he kind of will. We'll get around his outside down at turn 1, and you can see the grip we've got on the exit. We've just got to be trying to pick off cars after... No! Great. So we got 2 warnings on lap 2, and have basically gone ever since then without another one. Please don't say late on in the day that is going to be what costs us a point here. Cannot believe it, but we can't afford to worry too much. We've got to put our head down and really focus, and if anything that means obviously we can be a little bit more aggressive with the track limits as well before the end of this race. Need to make up 3 places a lap. Well, I mean, look at that grip we've got down the inside of 3 cars alone at the hairpin. Can we get back into the points? We will have DRS, I believe, on the final lap of this race, but Nico Hulkenberg, who has spent so much of this afternoon hounding me, he's got to be really struggling on his mediums towards the end of this thing. He will go defensive through the final chicane, but it's not going to be worth it. We should be able to put the power down on the exit, and side by side over the start finish line we are back up into P14 then, so 6 places made up on the opening lap off that restart. Much progress made up on this lap, but I think the Alpines are really starting to slow each other down the inside of Danny Rick, who again we will make contact with at the hairpin. Alex Albon there as well. Just thought about trying to cut across me on the exit. You can see how quick that Williams is down the straights. Going to be down the inside though, ready for the final corner. Surely we can pull this off. Nice try, Alex, but we've gained the spot again. I'm really hoping this 3-second time penalty doesn't go and cost us on the final lap of this Grand Prix, but down the outside we thought about it on Pierre Gasly there, but yeah, you can just see we've got nothing at all in terms of straight line speed around this venue, and just a little bit out of shape as well through the next chicane there. Daniel Ricciardo, I think his mediums have all but given up, so that safety car might have been a bit of a blessing for him as well. But it looks like, again, another opportunity to score points might go amiss here around the outside of Esteban Ocon will go as we make our way down in towards the final chicane. Max Verstappen has been able to withstand the pressure today as Gasly thought about it down in towards the final couple of corners there. Verstappen will win the Canadian Grand Prix. It's going to be 11th on the road, but I believe about P13 after the final results.
A truly magnificent drive and a great performance from the entire team to secure victory here in Canada. So Natalie, what do you think helped them deliver this result?
I feel consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team. let's see how the drivers' standings have changed. Max Verstappen now leads the Drivers' Championship. So then, Natalie Pinkham, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Often, my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
Let's move on to the constructors. And pulling further ahead in the standings, it's Red Bull. After an event like that, who knows what the sport has in store for us next time out? Be sure to join us once again as we continue to bring you all the excitement of Formula One.
Well, there we are then, the end of the Canadian Grand Prix, and, well, like I said, I think we kind of just had to stick around all afternoon and pray for a late race safety car, and that was exactly what happened in the end. Not enough, though, for us to take our first points of the season. Yeah, slightly, honestly, glad that we weren't able to get a look at Esteban Ocon there right at the end. Otherwise, I would have probably been really upset with that penalty there. But Verstappen takes home the win, 2.3 seconds clear of Oscar Piastri there. Ferrari third and fourth ahead of Russell, Alonso, Hamilton, Perez, Stroll, and Esti Besti there will pick up the final points-paying position. And yeah, to be honest, just a really struggling day for both Lancia cars here. Myself in P13, Richard Verschoor down in 20th place there. Didn't quite have the pace today, but we will come back stronger in the very near future. Championship-wise, Verstappen retakes the lead at the top, 11 points ahead of Charles Leclerc. No other big movers, though, I think, further down, to be honest. You know, I'm looking at Bottas in 12th place overall. It only takes one result, and we could be right back there with the Alfa Romeo. As you can see, Esteban Ocon, just his second point of the season. Constructors-wise, though, Ferrari lose out a couple of points to Red Bull as well this weekend. No other real movers, though, looking up and down the roster. I guess Mercedes took a few points out of McLaren as well. Still just 2 points between them. But thank you all so much for watching this video. If you have enjoyed, please do make sure to leave a like, get yourself subscribed, and we'll be back very, very soon as we head to our second sprint weekend of the year. We'll be back ready for the Austrian Grand Prix. A massive thank you to all of my YouTube members and my Patreon supporters for their continued donations to help my work. These things go much further than I think a lot of you ever realise, and allow me to continue making content full-time here on YouTube. So if you want to support me from as little as £1 a month and be featured on all of these end clips, either click the join button next to the subscribe or head over to my Patreon. There's a link down in the description.